Historical Korean dramas have a magic unlike any other. From breathtaking costumes and palace intrigue to unforgettable love stories and epic battles, saguks have captured the hearts of millions across the world. Today, we're counting down the top 15 best historical Korean dramas of all time, the ones that left a permanent mark on K-drama history. Now, let's start video.
Lovers of the Red Sky. A fantasy romance historical drama that mixes art, astrology, and fate. The love story between a painter and a blind astrologer unfolds beautifully, while supernatural forces threaten the kingdom. Visually stunning, it's a feast for the eyes. She meets Ha-ram, a brilliant astrologer who lost his sight in a tragic accident but possesses a mysterious connection with the dark forces threatening the kingdom. As the two grow closer, their fates intertwine with the gods, demons, and royal power struggles that shape Joseon's destiny. Their love is tested not only by social barriers, but also by supernatural dangers, as Chungi's art becomes the key to sealing away an evil spirit that could destroy the world. The Nokdu Flower is set during one of Korea's most turbulent times, the Donghak Peasant Revolution of 1894. The story follows two half-brothers, Baek Lee-kang and Baek Lee-hyun, who stand on opposite sides of history despite sharing the same blood. Lee-kang, the elder brother born of a concubine, grows up in hardship and resentment. Meanwhile, Lee-hyun, born of noble status, enjoys privilege and education. When the peasants rise up against corrupt officials and oppressive elites, Lee-kang joins the revolution, while Lee-hyun remains loyal to the government. Caught in the flames of war, betrayal, and shifting allegiances, the brothers' relationship is tested as they fight for different futures, one for justice and equality, the other for order and tradition.
Arang and the Magistrate is a fantasy historical Korean drama starring Shin Min-ah and Lee Joon-gi. The story is set in the Joseon dynasty and follows Arang, Shin Min-ah, a young woman who mysteriously dies but returns as a wandering ghost, with no memory of how she was killed. Because she cannot rest in peace without discovering the truth, she seeks help from the new magistrate of Miryang, Kim Yuno, Lee Joon-gi. Yuno has the unusual ability to see and talk to ghosts. Though he often tries to ignore them, he agrees to help Arang uncover the secrets behind her death. As they investigate, they uncover dark secrets about corruption, hidden conspiracies, and supernatural forces tied to the underworld. Hwarang is a colorful youth historical drama. Set during the Kingdom of Silla, the story follows the creation of the elite warrior group known as the Hwarang, formed to protect the throne and unify the kingdom. These young men are selected not only for their skills, but also for their noble backgrounds, beauty, and charisma. At the center of the story is Moomyoung, Park Sojin, a commoner who joins the Hwarang under a false identity after the death of his best friend. He struggles with his secret while growing into a true warrior. Alongside him is Sam Mek-jong, Park Hyung-sik, the hidden king of Silla, who enters the Hwarang in disguise to protect himself and understand his people better.
Kingdom, 2019 to 2020, is a gripping Korean historical thriller set during the Joseon dynasty, blending political intrigue with intense zombie horror. The story follows Crown Prince Lee Chang, Ju Ji-hoon, who investigates a mysterious illness spreading across the kingdom after the king falls gravely ill. As he digs deeper, Lee Chang uncovers a shocking truth. The plague is a horrifying disease that turns people into flesh-eating undead. Facing both a deadly epidemic and political enemies seeking to usurp him, the prince must rally allies, including the skilled physician Seo-bi Bae-duna and warrior Yong-shin Kim Sung-kyu, to protect the people and uncover the origins of the outbreak.
At number 4, 6 Flying Dragons. This political and action-packed prequel to Tree with Deep Roots focused on the turbulent founding of the Joseon dynasty. With complex storytelling and intense performances, it elevated Sageuk into epic territory, proving that historical dramas could be both intellectual and thrilling. Alongside him are figures like the wise scholar Jung Do-jeon, who designs Joseon's political framework, and warriors and allies who embody loyalty and courage. Together, they clash with corrupt aristocrats, old power structures, and their own conflicting ideals of justice. With its mix of political intrigue, epic battle scenes, and personal struggles, this series shows how ambition and ideals can both build and destroy a nation. Next up, The Red Sleeve. This beautifully tragic romance between King Jongjo and a court lady became a cultural sensation. Its heartbreaking story of duty versus love reminded audiences that Sageuk can deliver deep emotional impact while staying rooted in history. The drama is praised for its beautiful cinematography, emotional depth, and the powerful performances of Lee Jun-ho and Lee Se-young.
My Dearest, 2023 is a sweeping historical romance set during the Qing invasion of Joseon in the 17th century. It tells the heartbreaking love story of two people whose fates are bound together in the midst of war, loss, and political turmoil. The drama follows Lee Jang-hyun, Nam-kum Min, a mysterious man who carries deep emotional scars and swears never to fall in love. His life changes when he meets Yu Gilche, An Un-jin, a noblewoman who appears elegant and confident but struggles with hidden wounds and vulnerability. Their paths cross during one of the most turbulent periods in Korean history as the Qing invasion brings destruction and despair to Joseon. Amid chaos, betrayal, and sacrifice, Jung Hyun and Gilche's love blossoms but is constantly tested by separation, misunderstandings, and the harsh realities of survival.
Dong-yi tells the inspiring and dramatic life story of Choi Dong-yi, a low-born woman who rises to become one of the most influential figures in Joseon history. Set during the reign of King Sukjong, Ji Jin-hee, the drama begins with Dong-yi as a clever and kind-hearted young woman working in the palace's music department. She uses her sharp mind and strong moral compass to solve palace mysteries, gaining the attention of King Sukjong himself. Amid the chaos, Dong-yi remains grounded by her principles, compassion for the people, and determination to protect her loved ones, including her young son, who will grow up to be King Yongjo, one of Joseon's most respected rulers. Queen Seondeok tells the epic life story of Princess Deokmin, Lee Yo-won, who was born as one of twin daughters of King Jinpyong. Due to a prophecy foretelling danger to the throne, she is secretly sent away from the palace as a baby. Raised far from her royal heritage, Deokmin grows into a resourceful and intelligent young woman. Fate brings her back to the capital, where she faces the kingdom's most dangerous figure, Lady Michil Go Hyun-jung, a beautiful but cunning political mastermind who will stop at nothing to gain absolute power. Eventually, she reclaims her rightful identity and becomes Queen Seondeok, the first female ruler of Silla. Mr. Sunshine follows Eugene Choi, Lee Byung-hun, a young boy born into slavery in Joseon who escapes to the United States after a life-shattering tragedy. Growing up in America, he becomes a U.S. Marine Corps officer and returns to his homeland on a mission. But now he's a man torn between two worlds. Alongside them are unforgettable characters: the charismatic but dangerous Gu Dong-mei, the fierce and ambitious hotel owner Koo Do-hina, and the passionate revolutionary Kim Hee-sung. Each harbors secrets, unrequited loves, and unshakable loyalties, making the story a web of romance, betrayal, and sacrifice.
Moon Embracing the Sun. A fantasy romance about a king and a shaman torn apart by fate. It captured the hearts of millions and boosted interest in historical dramas among younger audiences. With ratings soaring over 40%, this drama proved Sageuk could be trendy, magical, and massively successful. Years later, King Lee Hwan, Yeonwoo's first love, still mourns her loss. When fate reunites them, he is drawn to Wool, not knowing she is the woman he once loved. Together, they uncover political conspiracies, palace secrets, and the truth behind her disappearance. Blending romance, tragedy, and palace intrigue, the drama beautifully portrays a love destined by the heavens but threatened by human greed.
Empress Ki tells the epic life story of Ki Seung-nyang, Ha Ji-won, a Goryeo-born woman of extraordinary intelligence, courage, and beauty. Born a commoner but raised with fierce determination, Seung-nyang disguises herself as a man to survive in a male-dominated society, and rises through the ranks with her unmatched skill in archery, swordsmanship, and political strategy. Ultimately, she ascends to become Empress Ki, one of the most influential women in Yuan history, but at the cost of heartbreaking sacrifices and personal losses.
Moon Lovers. Scarlet Heart. Ryo is a historical fantasy romance that blends time travel with palace intrigue, set during the early years of the Goryeo dynasty. The story follows Go Ha-jin, IU, a modern-day woman who is suddenly transported back to the 10th century during a solar eclipse. She awakens in the body of Hai-su, a young noblewoman living among the princes of Goryeo. In the palace, Hai-su becomes entangled in the complex relationships and rivalries between the many royal princes. Among them, she develops close bonds with the warm-hearted 8th Prince Wang-wook, Kang Ha-nyul, and the misunderstood, scarred 4th Prince Wang-so, Lee Jun-gi.
Jewel in the Palace, also known as Dae Jang-geum, is one of the most iconic Korean historical dramas of all time. Based on a true story, it follows the remarkable journey of Seo Jang-geum, the first female royal physician in Joseon dynasty history. Born into humble beginnings, Jang-geum enters the royal palace as a kitchen apprentice. There she begins her long and difficult path through the rigid class system, political conspiracies, jealousy, and betrayal. Her intelligence, determination, and unshakable morals help her rise from a lowly kitchen maid to become the king's personal physician, a feat nearly impossible for a woman at the time.